Hiya, and welcome to another guide. Today I will be covering literally every single thing that you need to know about Nodestones, or marshmallows, because that's what they look like. I will be covering the drop rates of Nodestones, roughly how often they drop, this is not an exact number, and how else you can obtain Nodestones, and what you should be doing with these Nodestones once you get them, the optimal way to use them. I will also be covering the entirety of the V-matrix system and all of its functionalities. I will be covering tri-nodes, skill nodes, and general nodes, and how you should be leveling up these nodes as you go along. This guide won't be as long as the leveling guide because that guide was a lot longer than I hoped it would be. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. And once again, thank you guys for all the support on the leveling guide. It's seriously amazing. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, and sub, or I will literally boom your items faster than Star Forcing does. Thanks. So now the first question that comes to mind, since we're talking about an item, the Nodestone, is where do I get it? So when you get your 5th job advancement, you are initially gifted 5 Nodestones. You are gifted an amazing Nodestone after you complete Lachlin. And Nodestones will drop in the entirety of the Arcane River, Hancernium, and beyond. You can also get Nodestones from events and event-related rewards, but there are also different kinds of Nodestones. The Mirror World Nodestone, which you get from killing Hard Will, and for completing the Esfera storyline, and the Experience Nodestones, which you can only get from event-related rewards. So the normal Nodestone is the only drop that you can get from normal monsters. The drop rate of Nodestones is consistent throughout the entirety of the Arcane River except for Vanishing Journey and Reverse City. The drop rate in Vanishing Journey and Reverse City is around 70% of what you'd usually find in the rest of the Arcane River, but either way you won't be getting much drops in the first parts of the Arcane River because your kill speed won't be that high anyways. So just make the assumption that for the most part Nodestones do drop at a consistent rate. The drop rate for Nodestones in Vanishing Journey and Reverse City are based at around 1 in every 5,000 kills. With good drop rate you can see it go down to 1 in every 1,500 to 1 in every 1,200 kills, but it doesn't get much better than that. On the other hand, for the rest of the Arcane River, the drop rate is usually between, from what I've seen, 1 in 3,500 kills to 1 in 4,000 kills. With good drop rate, you can see this drop down to about 1 in 800 to 1 in 1,000 kills. But realistically, what's most important about Nodestones is your kill speed. If you are killing mobs extremely fast, that is effectively increasing your drop rate, because you are killing mobs at a higher speed, which means that you're rolling the chance for a Nodestone more and more often. That's why in my leveling guide, which I'll put over there if you want to see it, I suggested that when you get to the later parts of the Arcane River, you should be one-shotting because drops for Nodestones and droplets become very, very important towards progressing your character to the late and end stages of the game. So now that you've got your hands on your beautiful Nodestones or marshmallows, now you're probably asking, what do I do with them? They're just sitting in my inventory. Well, if you don't have your Nodestones maxed on your main character, open them. All of them. Literally all of them. You will need it. They are very, 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 very important towards increasing your damage. Once you open them, go to a Node Master in either Vanishing Journey, Choo Choo Island, or Morass, and talk to the NPCs there because they will open up the V-matrix menu for you, and I will help you guide you through every single element that exists for these menus. Okay, so my footage was griefed, and I did have some recordings prepared, but now I've got to do it again. So I'm beside my boy Arkel, and I'm gonna be opening nodes and doing this part of the video in one shot. So I'm just gonna be going along and just giving some tips and, you know, the core functionalities of the V matrix and priorities that you should be leveling up with, you know, like your node slots and how to level up your nodes. All that sort of stuff I'm gonna cover in this section of the video. You will see that I already have nodes on this character. That is because my footage was griefed, so I won't be able to explain it 200% of the way, but I'll do whatever I can to make it as clear as possible, because I know that nodes are very confusing. So once you finally have your nodes, and you know you got a decent bunch and you want to open them, you just double click on them and you can open them. Or what you can do is you can bind it to a key and open it that way. Now obviously I don't think I need to mention this, but just to make sure, you should be opening up all of your Nodestones on your main as soon as you can, because the damage that you get from nodes is ridiculous. Like, it's so much. Not only that, oh, okay, it stopped. Not only that, the Nodestones, or the nodes that you get from Nodestones, have certain drop rates as well. So getting skill nodes is like a 15% chance, 15 to 20% chance. The boost nodes are around 75 to 80% from what I've seen, and special nodes are right around 5%. Besides that, there's nothing really special about opening nodes. You kind of just open them and that's it. Things kind of get crazy when you get into the V matrix system, which I'll explain once, you know, all of these finally finish up and open. So let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, now they're all open. So before you even open your V matrix system, the best thing to do is to search up your class's optimal boost nodes. This is very important because boost nodes increase the damage that your 4th job skills do by just a flat %. So for example, if I have my nodes maxed, then it will increase the damage that my 4th job skills do by 120%. So it'll more than double the amount of damage that my 4th job skills do. So for example, because I'm on a hero, so for any hero mains, if you're watching this, then you don't need to search it up because it's going to be over here. You're going to have to go to Google and you're going to search up your class specific name, optimal nodes. So because I'm playing hero, I'm going to search up heroes optimal nodes, right? Let me just take a second to pull them up. Okay, so I'm going to need Raging Blow, Rising Rage, Final Attack, Puncture, Shout, and Rush. Now, I already have these skills in my matrix, so... And I also have enough slots to fit my boost nodes into my matrix. Now, when you hit level 200, you will only have 5 slots. Do not put your boost nodes before you put your actual 5th job skills. When you hit level 200, you want to make sure that you have space for all of your 5th job skills. And then as you go along and unlock more slots, you put your boost nodes. Not only that, I should probably explain that as well. So when you hit level 200, you will initially have 5 places to put your nodes in, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every 5 levels, you will unlock a new slot. Now, you can also expand it with mesos, but I don't suggest this because it becomes more and more expensive. Not only that, you can only unlock it with mesos when you hit a specific level as well. So you'll still be capped. It's just that for that specific level, you will have an extra 2 node slots. The only reason why I did it for this character right now is so that I could give you guys just an accurate representation of what your V matrix should look like. So for example, when you hit level 260 and you unlock a node, you will have the first page of your V matrix open. And then obviously it continues all the way until God knows when. 300 stops over here. I don't even think you can unlock these. But yeah. Not only that, as you level up, you'll be getting these things called matrix points. Matrix points will enhance a slot in your V matrix. Now, whatever node is placed into that slot will have its level increased by the level of the slot. So for example, the max level for a slot is 5. And if I put a boost node in a slot that's level 5, it will increase the boost node's level by 5. So for example, this specific boost node is level 3. If I were to unequip all of my other nodes and check out the levels that it gives for the boosts, it's going to be 3 plus 5, which is 8. Right? Now, there is a priority for what slots you want to be boosting and how to boost in which specific order. So for example, at first you always want to be boosting your boost nodes. You want to make sure that all of your boost nodes are maxed out first, and then you want to max out your 5th job skills. So for example, for hero, it's Instinctual Combo, Sword Illusion, World Reaver, and Burning Soul Blade. And then you want to move down to the general, how do I explain it? The general nodes, the general class nodes like Impenetrable Skin or Weapon Aura or those specific things, right? Another thing, special nodes cannot be affected by levels. Special nodes only have 1 level. You cannot level up special nodes. So anytime I mention, leveling priority, special nodes will never be mentioned because you cannot level up special nodes. So yeah, let's get into it. Now let's actually enhance or craft a node. Now, there's 2 buttons here. There's node crafting and there's disassemble nodes. Disassembling nodes basically takes your nodes, destroys them, and gives you node shards instead. I'll say exactly what node shards do in just a second, but I also need to explain what to disassemble and what not to disassemble. So when you're first starting out in your 5th job, you want to make sure that you're holding on to skills that you know you'll be using, right? So skills like decent speed infusion, decent holy symbol, maybe a bind, and a lot of your other 5th job skills. Now, disassembling some specific nodes will also give more than others. So for example, any skill node that's colored blue, so any of the blue nodes, doesn't matter what type of skill node it is, just the fact that it's a skill node will disassemble for 40 node shards. The boost nodes, or the gray nodes, will disassemble for 10 node shards, and the special nodes will disassemble for 50 node shards. One thing to note is that even after special nodes expire, which they expire in a week from after you craft them, even after they expire, you can still disassemble them with the new update. So let's say you have node shards, right? And you want to craft a node. You can either craft Nodestones. You can craft Nodestones, which costs 35, and I highly don't suggest this unless if you're playing reg server, because this makes Nodestones tradable. Or you can craft a node of your choosing. Now, this is primarily how you level up your nodes. You find your optimal nodes, and then you craft them. You craft the nodes that take the highest priority and go down, right? So, the node crafting is just the same as the boost slot priority. You want to start with boost nodes, then move on to your 5th job skills, and then into general skills, right? So let's say before all that, before you're crafting, before you're leveling up, how do you find your optimal nodes? Well, there's trios here. So for example, for hero, it's Raging Blow, Rising Rage, Final Attack, Rush, Shout, and Puncture. Now, it doesn't have to be in those specific trios. You can mix and match the abilities exactly however you need to. You just need to make sure that the abilities show up at least twice. You need them to be in 2 trios. So for example, I have Rising Rage in this trio and this trio. Or I have Raging Blow in this trio and this trio. So you just want to be making sure that all of your nodes show up twice. Now each class will have a different number of trios. Some classes only have 1 trio, some classes have 2 trios, and some classes have 3 trios. If you have 1 trio, you only need 2 node slots for the maximum level on boost nodes. If you have 2 trios, then you need 4 slots, which I have right here. And if you have 3 trios, you need 6 slots. The reason why you need it to appear twice is because you need, well, that's pretty much how it is, right? You need a node to, or boost nodes at least, boost nodes to appear twice before their max level. Now, one thing to note, because you need 2 trios to max your nodes, you also need to place them in enhanced slots twice. So the max level that a boost node can hit is 60, while the max node that skill or ability nodes can hit is 30. That's one very important thing to note. And also, depending on what job the specific ability node is, or the, sorry, not the ability node, the boost node is from, it also gives you more final damage %. So for example, as you can see in this node, because Raging Blow and Rising Rage are 4th job and hyper skills respectively, they give 16%, while Shout gives 24%. The max values for these are 120%, so 120% final damage for 4th job skills, and then 180% final damage for 3rd job skills. Okay, so let's move on to the next portion. So let's say you've settled down and you found all of your nodes. In this case, I do have all of my nodes. I wish I could show you guys how I selected them out, but my footage was absolutely demolished. So let's just say that you found your nodes, you found the optimal trios, and you figured out how to get 2 in each specific node, right? If you're a class with 2 trios, then you have 4 nodes, and every ability is boosted twice. So now you might be thinking, okay, so how do I go about enhancing, disassembling, like what do I do with my node shards and my nodes that show up in my V matrix? Now the first thing you want to do, always, before you touch anything, you want to make sure that you're enhancing all of the abilities that you have active. Because this is just free damage. Even though these are not on like high on the priority list, you still want to enhance these nodes because you're going to have to enhance them regardless. Alright? So you want to make sure that you're taking the time to just enhance everything. So, there you go, just enhancing, getting the levels up from 13 to 15. From 8 to 10. So this is just free final damage I'm getting on my abilities just by clicking these nodes. Okay, and then we finish with this. Go from rank 3 to rank 6. And I'm going to enhance other nodes that I will find useful for this character in the future. So things like Sharp Eyes, or Decent Speed Infusion, or Holy Symbol, because I might be farming on this character. Weapon Aura is also good for warriors. Impenetrable Skin is also good. And even Bind. I can even enhance the Bind. And then you also want to disassemble your special nodes unless if it's Fatal Strike 1, Auto Recovery 1, or Character Building 1. The reason why is that these special nodes are very, very good, and you will be using them in the endgame. If you want, you can still disassemble them if you need the node shards more than anything, because obviously, yet again, your boost nodes take priority, right? So for now, I'm going to be doing it also because these special nodes aren't good. Now that I have everything enhanced, I can just select all and disassemble everything because I know that every other ability that I got is not something that I will use, right? I won't be using any panic nodes because I know it's not within my optimal nodes, or I won't be using intrepid slash nodes. I won't be using decent advanced blessing. I won't be using blink. Okay, well, maybe an endgame, but on this character, I won't be using it. So I take everything that I have, and now I just disassemble it, and I get all my node shards. So now you might be asking, well, what do you craft? So, yet again, priority takes boost nodes first, but you also want to make sure that your boost nodes are within the same level range. Because essentially what this does is this maximizes your damage, because obviously the further you go in terms of levels, the harder it will be to level up a Nodestone, right? So you want to make sure that whenever you're leveling up a specific tier of Nodestones, that you make them within the certain level range. The same thing when you go to your 5th job skills. When you go to your 5th job skills, take some time and figure out which 5th job skill does the most damage, and then just balance according, right? So for my boost nodes, I'm just gonna go pretty much all equivalent. So I'm gonna craft some final attack nodes because it's the lowest level, and then I'm gonna see what happens from there. So I'm gonna craft, let's say, 10 of these. Not only that, you can tell, I probably should say this, I probably should have said this beforehand, but you can tell what the boost node is from the first ability in the stack. So because final damage is on top, when I hover this, it's a final damage boost node. This is something that's very important because you want to make sure that you're not enhancing two of the same node. So for example, if I had another node that started with puncture, then I'd be pretty much losing out on an entire node. Right? You want to be making sure that every first node in the stack is different, or else you will not be able to equip it, because you can only equip one of each node. Not only that, everything in the 5th job V matrix menu organizes first by ability nodes, then by boost nodes, and then by special nodes. So if you're having a hard time finding out what's where, then you can go by that specific order. Obviously, depending on which class, some boost nodes might organize on top of others. I wouldn't be able to, tell you how that's organized, but generally it's general abilities, your 5th job skills, boost nodes, and then special nodes. Alright, yeah, so my final attack is now level 9. It's still not high enough level, so I'm just gonna go all the way. I'm just gonna craft whatever I have left, which is 4 more. And we're gonna get this to level 10 from what I had it before, which was level 6. Now, from those 100 nodes alone, I leveled each of my 5th job skills up a couple times, and each of my boost nodes by a couple times. This is gonna be drastically different from when you're first starting out. Initially, all of my nodes were level 1, and I got them to level 10 from the ground up, but yet again, my footage was griefed, so we'll just ignore that. But yeah, I'm also now gonna do a damage showcase to show you the difference between not having boost nodes and having boost nodes, and just how big of a difference it is, and how important Nodestones are. So for example, I'm gonna go beat up Pierre for a solid 2 minutes. So let me just buff up. And I'm not going to use any 5th job skills for this test. I'm only just going to be using 4th job skills just to show what boost nodes do. Oh, right. I also forgot to mention this. One more important thing to mention is that when Nodestones hit a specific level, they will also gain bonus effects. So for example, when I look at Raging Blow, or Hero's main ability, when you get that specific node to level 20, its max targets will go up by 1. And at level 40, its IED will increase by 20%, which is very, very good, especially for early game, because boss and IED are extremely important so that you can do your most amount of damage to the bosses. Yeah, let's get into this, and let's see how much damage we do. I'll enter at 19 minutes, and I'll beat him up for 2 minutes. So I'll go until there's 17 minutes left. Enter now. So I still don't have my combo stacked, and I got hit by a hat, but as you can see, I'm doing roughly around 19 to 20 mil lines. And then Rising Rage is hitting for like 30 to 40 mil. I can also use Shout here, which hits for 30 mils. And you can see that it's been 30 seconds from when I entered, and I'm doing a good amount of damage for literally just hitting the boss, not bursting, not doing anything. Right? And you can also see that I'm playing kind of weird, not playing the best right now. But the damage is pretty good. Like, you can see his health bar consistently going down. Okay, so we're almost approaching the 2-minute mark with no burst, no nothing. Oh my god, I'm getting locked in these hats. So there you go. 2 minutes, and it looks like I've done around 20% of his health. Now I'm gonna go unequip my boost nodes, and you'll see just how big of a difference it makes. So let's unequip these, and these are with mid-level nodes. Like, these aren't max level, these are middle of the road, something you can achieve within a reasonable amount of time. Right, so let's see how big the difference is. If it would let me enter. There you go. So you can already see that my damage has dropped. Against these imps, I'm only hitting 15 mil, which is already a 25% decrease. Let's see how much it is against Pierre. So against Pierre, I'm only hitting 10 mils now. In which before, 12 to 13 mils. So beforehand, it was much, much, much more. Let's also make sure that I'm using Rising Rage and other abilities that increase my DPM. Right? Give it some time, give it some time. You know, wait. I probably should have kept track of when I entered. Hold up. Alright, so I entered at 1948. Okay? So, by 1748, we'll see how much damage we do. Oh, I didn't get hit by the hat there. That's nice. But yeah, as you can tell, my damage is much lower. I went from doing 19 to 20 mils to doing right around 12 to 13 mils. So it's literally almost double with the boost nodes. So 1749 is the time where I stop hitting him. I'm gonna give you the beans, Pierre. Well, not really, because I have no nodes on, so it's kind of cope. And realistically, I am playing this run so much better than I was with my nodes on. I am not getting trapped by any hats. I am, you know, I'm spacing him out perfectly. I'm getting a lot of Raging Blow hits in. What is he doing? Dude, he's not using his umbrella. Oh my god. Okay, we got like a solid 10 seconds left. Let's puncture him again. Do that. Alrighty. Alright. Well, I kind of griefed it at the end, but let's get one more hit in for the memes. Okay, so there you go. We can see that we did around like 10%, maybe 15% within those 2 minutes. But as you can tell, with the boost nodes, it is a massive, massive difference. Like, it's not even close. And this doesn't just go for bossing as well. This goes for mobbing too. You can do a lot more damage with mobbing. So let me showcase that as well. Let me just get a hyper teleport rock. Wow, I am broke. I am beyond broke. Okay. So here, let's go to Sad Urdas. Okay, open map, very nice. Okay, so with these nodes, I am one-shotting the mobs. Let's turn off Enrage, because I think that's a little unfair. Oh, no, that was my combo orbs. Whoops. Okay, so with my combo orbs maxed, I am one-shotting the Sad Urdas. Now, let's take them off. And let's see if I can still one-shot. So, there you go. That's the difference between one-shotting and not one-shotting. And obviously, these mobs aren't that hard. And I have the Arcane Force to fight these things and do a lot of damage to them. Not only that, my gear is also very, very strong for a character of this level. So, take that with a grain of salt. And I'm still not one-shotting these things. But just because of the nodes, I not only one-shot, but do more than enough damage to take them out. So here, without the boost nodes, you can see that I'm doing around 11 to 12 mil. And then when I put them back on, if they would let me, that damage goes from 11 to 12 mil to 16 to 17 mil. Which probably even gives me enough damage to move within the next region or the next best map. I don't even have them unlocked yet. We don't talk about this. So TLDR, I'll run through everything again. If you want everything condensed. So skip on crafting Nodestones. Craft the boost nodes first, then your 5th jobs, then your general ability nodes, because not only do boost nodes boost multiple abilities, but they also get bonus effects as they level up. But it's fine to make sure that other things are leveling up as you level up your boost nodes, like when you open your nodes, like if you happen to get an instinctual combo node, obviously it's okay to just enhance it and go on to the next. Not only that, matrix points is something that's also very important. You want to max one slot before moving on to the next. And that holds the same priority as how you level up your nodes. First with boosts, then with 5th job skills, and then with generals, so on, so forth. And yeah, I think that's the TLDR. Stay away from crafting Nodestones. Level up your boost nodes, then your ability nodes, then your general nodes. Not only that, make sure that you know your trios and you know what abilities in your class do a lot of damage before you level up any sort of Nodestones. Because Nodestones are fairly rare, especially if you're an early game player, because the Nodestone drop rates in Vanishing Journey are less than other regions. Not only that, your kill speed in earlier regions will be less than what they will be in the, in the later regions. So in that regard, Nodestone drop rates are also less in that way too. So yeah, I think that'll be it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned something about Nodestones. Hopefully that gives you a general idea of how to level up your Nodestones and progress your way into the end game. Yeah, that'll be it. Remember to like, comment, and sub, or I will literally boom your items faster than Star Forcing does. Thanks.